So what we've got here, guys, is we've got a Gator GRV43KT. Yeah, so Santa passed through OPL HQ and dropped this bad boy off for us. I believe you get them from Autobarn, about $120. As you can see, we've got the different features. There's a 4.3 inch screen size. It's a wide angle camera. It's waterproof. And it's got the parking guides as well. I'm going to fit this to the Pajero. So the wiring itself, there's a lot of wire there and it looks a bit messy. But in essence, it's pretty simple. I don't think you can really go wrong with this. It does come with instructions. So don't be put off by the amount of wiring here. It's, as I say, it's pretty straightforward, plug and play. So I'm just deciding where to mount the camera. And I'm thinking I'm going to try up just under there and come in through the light there. Bring the wires in through the back here and run them down into this loom here, and then come back through in here and then marry up into the rear reversing light loom there. The only other place I thought was maybe down in here somewhere, but I think this toe ball here is going to get in the way. So it's a bit of a suck at the sea at the moment. I know on the Commodore it's mounted up there underneath the tailgate, but of course it's a lot lower, isn't it? So let's just see where that goes. It may need an adjustment later on, but that's where I'm going to start it at, I think. So I've just taken the trim off. You've got the little tool compartment there with the 4 screws in it. There's just 4 screws, 2 and then 2 up the other end. You unscrew that from there and a little plastic piece comes off just there like that little plastic piece. You take the door handle off here. That's just to give me access to up inside in the lock and in the back tailgate area here. Like this wiring loom here will come through there. Panel here just clips out there. Just run your fingers pretty close to there. Use a tool if you've got it. Don't rip on it. These clips, don't rip on these clips. You'll end up breaking them. So that all just comes off pretty easy. So I've ended up just popping a little hole through there, just drilling a hole and then using the step drill. Put a little grommet in there and poke the wire through there. Okay, so that's the wire poked through there with a grommet. What I'll do now is I'll just install that, just screw that up into there like that. So there's the camera all mounted up underneath there. As I say, I've got the wire coming through the door there, through a grommet. It just plugged into this loom here. So that plugs into there, and I'll run that. Trying to do this with one hand, I'll run that loom there, run right across the door. We'll run into there. So I've got the wiring through the back of the door, guys, up into the back of the car there through that rubber sleeve. So I've tapped into the earth strap there onto the door, and I've run those up there, and I'll tape the RCA plugs together so they don't work themselves loose. Just run them through there in behind this panel here up into that rubber grommet. As you can see, I've got up here I've got the black, that's the video lead there, and you can just see on here I've got the red. I actually had to extend this lead here, so it wasn't long enough. Wire here that's going to go to the reverse light to activate the camera, and that video lead runs down through the bottom of the 12 volt through here. You can see it, the plug over there. You can see here you've got the red and the blue, so the middle light there, so the middle light being the red with the blue stripe turns into blue with the red stripe just there. So I'm going to tap into that plug there so I don't have to remove that wire every time I want to remove the tail light. So I'm going to graft it in up here. When you're wanting to take the tail lights off, if you've never done this before, it's just 2 screws. It's one here and one there, and then it just clips out from the inside. There's a couple of lugs just inside there that just sits in behind, and then that pushes around, and then you do those with 2 screws up. Probably anybody with any sort of sense would sort of not bother buttoning this back up again until it's all put together and tested, just in case you've got to come back in here. But I'm pretty confident, and so I'm actually going to put it all back together, just so I can say that this end's done. So I've just clipped that door trim back in. So you've actually got to lift that out a bit to get that up underneath. So you pretty much need to take the handle off. When you're putting these in, start at the top, work your way down. Make sure you line up the holes properly first. Don't bang them in because you'll break them. Right, so just line them up and just gently push them. Right, and just go around the whole door. See, there's one I didn't pop in there. Go around the whole door and just gently push them in. So now we'll go back, put the handle on, and put this little surround in for that, and we'll put the little tool door back in and that little flap back on. Alright guys, that's all back on now. So just a little tip on running the wires from in here through there into the back there. I just used this bit of coat hanger and slipped it down through the tube first, and then I put a little hook on the end, and I obviously taped up the wiring that I needed to pull through, and I've just simply pulled that through. Yeah, so I've run the wiring from the back down through there, and I've just come out through the bottom here and then tucked it up underneath this lip, going in behind that screw there, and underneath this bracket and around here, underneath that screw there, behind that screw, and I've come down in this part here and inside the channel here in the footwell, and you can see it's just popping out there at the moment. Yeah, so I've run it through the middle there, and I'm running it through that little channel there. Drive side kick panel out, and I'm going to run that up. Looks like we have a bit of success, guys. So I've got this running off the accessories on the out of the radio there, so the radio is obviously still working, which is always a bonus. No signal at the moment. It should probably switch off. It does, and then when I chuck that into reverse, we turn it to the on position, and it starts up, and no signal. It should turn itself off, and when I put it into reverse, yeah, so the camera comes up. It's upside down at the moment, so I've got to adjust it at the back. When I put it into drive, she'll turn itself off again. So yeah, no signal, and turn it off. I don't know where I'm going to put it. I might put it down in there, I think. Pretty simple, guys. The instructions that come with it, it's all plug and play. And I think, to be honest, I think if you had you know, a head unit, an LCD head unit, I think you could simply just, you know, negate this screen, and you could simply just plug the RCA connectors. I think they're called RCA. If they're not, I'll correct myself, but you could simply just plug them straight into the back of your aftermarket LCD stereo if it was rig camera compatible. So it seems to, yeah, just plug straight in, and you wouldn't have to run all this power and stuff and earth that I've done just to run that screen. And that's another Oz Pajero Life video complete. Remember, if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. So that's all from me. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year, and I'll see you in the next video.